Welcome to Forensic Friday,
where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all. Y'all, we just spent an hour and a half recording a traumatic experience episode that we were so excited to do, and it didn't record.
I know.
And not only did it not record, we both had a feeling it wouldn't record.
We literally, at the beginning, were like, okay, check it.
Double check.
Your son checked it.
Oh,
and then it just stopped recording.
It just stopped recording. So we're like, screw this. We're going to do a mini.
Yep.
For both of our mental health.
Yep.
So we have been laughing for a few days about a celebrity breakup.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to let you introduce it, and then I'm going to imitate it.
I can't with this. What's her name? Kristen?
Cavallari.
Okay, here's the thing. I love Uncommon James Jewelry. I'm doing a shameless plug for Uncommon James Jewelry. And I actually I like her. Like, she's entertaining. She's whatever.
She's a straight shooter.
She is a straight shooter.
She's a straight shooter.
I really like that about her.
I liked her and Steven's take on the Steven.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Their take on Laguna Beach when they rewatched it.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that.
Yes.
So we like her. We don't have a big beef with her.
No. She dated this real cute guy.
Mark Estes, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
Uh-huh.
He is 24.
Yeah.
And she's what, 37?
Something like, I think she's your age exactly.
Well, I'm 36. I think she's a little older.
She might be 37. She's 36 or 37.
Yeah. So they date, and everyone knows what this is.
Everyone knows.
It's a booty call.
Everyone knows.
He's hot. She's hot. It's just is what it is.
It made them both a little more relevant for half a second. Him in particular.
He's like on fire now. She just boosted his career tenfold.
Like, you're welcome.
Literally, like, your good looks were good enough, and now you have her on your resume of women you've dated.
Mine dated Kristen Cavallari.
Literally. I was thinking about this, though, with him. I was thinking, sorry, I'm shifting. I was thinking I would not want to be the girl that follows that up. You know what I mean?
No, because she
no one will be good enough. No one will ever be good enough.
No, she has hung Hazel Moon, and that's it. You know, it's funny. We were laughing because she does have a very particular way that she talks.
Mm-hmm.
And on her podcast, she was explaining the breakup. She's like, I know. And I can't. There's only so much of that I can listen to.
See, I don't think I listened. I didn't hear it.
She says I know maybe 100 times. So
okay.
Yes, she knew. She knew. Everybody knew.
It was the age thing.
And she kind of thinks she did him a favor breaking up with him.
She didn't.
I mean, because he has a lot of life to live.
For sure going to propose.
You think so?
I mean, I don't know soon, but do you
think he's crying in his Cheerios, or is he just lining up his next whatever?
No.
I don't know.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. I don't know who could follow her up. He's potentially single forever.
That's incredible. She ruined him.
She did.
She ruined him
because
for all other girls.
She's so great. She's so pretty, and she's famous.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to follow that up.
It's going to be hard.
And he's not going to want anyone to follow that up.
He's going to go back into obscurity, mouthing song lyrics.
They still do that. It's so funny.
Isn't that it's the Montana Boys, right?
Yes.
Oh, this is a whole thing.
But guys, this couple. Yeah.
So today, what we were thinking we would do is we're going to talk about the 4 Horsemen, according to John Gottman.
Mm-hmm.
These are 4 patterns, behaviors that if these show up in your relationship, you're sunk.
Yeah, I'm out. Okay.
Yeah. We're worried about paper noise. Our producer doesn't want any paper noise.
Well, my snack was on top of the paper.
Well, and if Nat's not eating on a podcast, then I don't know.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? So I thought we could just talk briefly about what the 4 Horsemen are, because if you recognize them, it's big bad for your relationship.
Yeah. Do you want me to start it?
I found this little article that's 25 marriage counselors and therapists who immediately knew that the couples that they were seeing were doomed.
Okay.
And so we're going to test that against our collective knowledge and experience.
Beautiful.
Because we are trained couples therapists ourselves.
We are.
Work with couples all the time.
We are. Couples are hard.
So take him down the first one now. What's the first horseman?
Criticism.
Oh, talk about it.
So this is verbally attacking personality or character. Okay. So criticism is like, you're so lazy. You never take out the trash.
You're boring. You never want to do anything.
You never want to do anything. They're just so
Always,
needy.
Never.
Yes.
It's kind of really particular critique, and it's not delivered in a way that is productive. It's delivered in a way that's meant to kind of
jab. It hurts.
Yeah, jab. You're trying to jab the other person. And you're certain you're right. There's no collaboration happening here. It's just, you're wrong about this because I said so.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like it says, it's attacking the personality or character. So one of the ones that I hear a lot in group is they just think of themselves. They're so selfish.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, okay.
Maybe they think about themselves because you don't.
Maybe.
No, I'm so mean. We have a comeback for everything. It's terrible.
That just interrupted my brain process.
Sorry.
That was funny.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Criticism.
Okay. So then we have contempt. Mm-hmm. Contempt is really nasty. I think it's the nastiest one. For me, when I see contempt, we're hopping a skip from game over. This is miserable for therapists. So contempt is attacking sense of self with an intent to insult or abuse. So this is when criticism gets even more global.
Yeah.
And we can't
This is like the name calling.
Well, name calling, and we just can't assume anything positive anymore. They're running 5 minutes late, and it's all that asshole's always running late. You know, blah, 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 blah. His time's most important.
Yeah, at this point, it's like his time's most important. They're just doing this because they know it.
Oh, yeah.
Pisses me off.
They're pushing my buttons because they're a terrible person. I can do better, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if there is an assumption to be made, it's negative in contempt. And that is exhausting to be in and exhausting to counsel.
Yeah.
You know? So contempt is a baddie.
Yes. Next one is defensiveness, which is victimizing yourself to ward off a perceived attack and reverse the blame. So here's the thing, guys. We all know what it feels like to be defensive. We all know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of defensiveness, right? So this is just when we are trying to protect ourselves. The thing with defensiveness is we do it in a few different ways, right? We can shut down. We can also go back on the attack mode.
Oh, totally. So, gaslighting lives here.
Yes. Yep. Like, you're the crazy one. That's not how that went.
I didn't unload the dishwasher, but it's really your fault because you kept me up late with all your stupid video game noise, blah, 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 whatever it is.
Yeah.
You can't actually receive a statement without coming back at somebody.
Right. Well, and you can't take any ownership of your side.
That's right. And the last one is stonewalling, withdrawing to avoid conflict and convey disapproval, distance, and separation.
Yep.
I have to admit, I'm not much of a stonewaller. I think the sun would have to fall out of the sky first.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not a stonewaller.
I can see you being a stonewaller.
I'm a stonewaller.
I can see that.
In a fight, yes. Yep. I'm a stonewaller. I will just shut down, but not because I'm shutting down, like getting smaller. I just stop talking.
Well, and people, I think, assume that the stonewaller is doing it because they're overwhelmed. That's not always true.
Right.
It's a weapon in its own right sometimes. Yeah. Right. And it's really painful for a pursuer.
Yeah.
Because the pursuer is trying to do anything to get through that wall, and the wall is just not going anywhere.
It's super high.
It is super high. And then if you want to really gaslight somebody, take the wall down 5 minutes later for no reason at all. It makes everybody crazy. Don't do that to your partner. Then you'll be in the land of contempt.
Yeah.
So Nat and I are going to take some of these scenarios that we found online, and we're going to kind of diagnose which horseman is at work here and if we think the relationship would end.
Perfect.
Okay, so I have one here. If either partner rolls their eyes when the other is talking or sharing, maybe they're quick to notice and show a lack of respect for the other person's feelings, and maybe just sort of acting like the other person isn't real interesting. What's that an example of?
They're rolling their eyes.
Their eyes, not real interested.
Stonewalling.
Yeah, and contempt. Because they're basically communicating like, ugh, I don't have any room for you right now. You're just not even worth my time.
Yeah.
That's contempty. It could also be stonewalling if they won't engage with what the other person is saying.
Whatever.
Yeah, that can be stonewalling. All right, you pick one.
Okay. Number one problem, this is another therapist that says this. Number one problem that I see is an overactive threat response, which creates anger and rigidity. People don't stop turning down their defense mode and lose sight of love because of their energy is going toward being right or controlling the outcome.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Defensiveness.
Yeah.
Defensiveness is so much about scorekeeping and trying to win.
Yeah.
It's like it's a tennis match, kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I'm going to steal what it says here. It's a fear of defensiveness is a fear of being vulnerable and open.
Yes.
Right? So if I'm defensive, it's because I'm not sharing, hey, this is how that's actually making me feel.
Yeah.
Or this is what's coming up for me. Right? Yeah. I'm just doing whatever I know best in that moment to protect myself.
Yeah.
And that's potentially hurtful for the other person.
Absolutely. I have one here that I don't know if it's one of the four horsemen, but it's a bad one in terms of DV.
Okay.
When one person is entirely dependent on the other, especially at a relatively young age. These are typically young women, sometimes young men as well. I don't think this is Mark Estes, but it's interesting to think about. Who do not work, do not have children, stay home all day, and have no friends or hobbies outside of hanging out with their spouse. Red flag.
Codependence.
Yep. And also these folks end up, they either stay with their therapist forever and get out of the relationship, or they stay with the person and get out of therapy.
Yep.
Because any good therapist is going to be trying to get you to be a little bit more independent.
Yep. And they're going to name that.
You know?
Yep. Ooh, I have a good one.
Okay.
Overbearing parents and in-laws.
Oh. Yeah.
When a spouse is more aligned with their parents and call them on the speakerphone for fights or often speak ill of their partner to their parents.
Oh, man.
What do you think about that?
You're fostering contempt in other people.
Yep.
Even if you maybe don't have it yourself, you're being critical. This is just extraordinarily immature. And I have never involved my parents in my fights with a boy ever, even when I was in high school. That's just weird to me. But people do this all the time. I've worked with couples who do this, and it can be the woman who's enmeshed with her family or the man.
Yeah. Well, I've seen both.
It's really hard to build your own thing if you don't differentiate from your own family to a degree.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Let's see. My grand aunt, okay, this was a therapist grand aunt who was also a couples therapist.
Okay.
Said one of the red flags is spouses who don't sleep together without a justifiable reason. So if it's not medical, snoring, all that kind of stuff, but there's just like a lack of intimacy and it just got easier at some point to sleep in a different room or a different bed, that they will inevitably drift.
Wow.
I don't think that's a sex thing. It is a little, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's an bigger lens intimacy issue because you're not doing your routine at night. And couples don't always go to bed at the same time.
Yeah.
But there is something intimate about like closing down your day with somebody. Yeah. That's pretty cool. And a lot of couples end up sleeping in different rooms for snoring, all the things.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Well, and I tell couples that I work with, if there's any way to get you back in the same space again, that typically helps the couple immensely.
Yep.
But I think there's a lot of us we are fighting for our lives trying to sleep around here.
I know.
Nobody sleeps well anymore.
Well, that, and I mean, shoot. Yeah, that one's a tough one. If you don't have specific reasons why you're sleeping in separate rooms. One, why would you do that if you're married?
Yes.
The only time I've ever slept in a separate room is if I'm sick. So after my flood experience, I slept in a separate room because I was up all night, hours with massive headaches, all that stuff.
Oh.
But that was a medical thing. And then sometimes if Preston, I know when he's going to, like if he's sick or whatever, I'm like, this is going to suck for both of us.
Oh, absolutely.
But those are the only 2 reasons for me.
I know.
Ever to sleep in another room.
Yeah, I get why people do it. And especially when you have kids, I think.
I don't understand why people just choose to do it for no reason.
Well,
I don't get.
I think it starts this way.
Okay.
I think it starts because of something usually.
Okay.
Sometimes it starts because fights happen and we split.
Yeah.
But I think some couples start this way and then it's just easier. They get in their own routine. They can watch what they want. They can read what they want. They can go to bed when they want.
But there's ways around that.
You kind of stop working together on it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Garrett might love if I didn't sleep in our room because I keep him up all the time.
He smiled.
He's smiling. He knows. He'll go on a business trip and I'm like, don't you miss me? And it's like crickets, because he's sleeping. He's sleeping really well. He misses me, but he's sleeping great. This is a good one.
What
Couples
is it?
Who have forgotten the good. Like they have a hard time even saying what was or is good anymore. I mean, it's contempt. It's the foundation of contempt. What would you say to those couples, Nat?
Well, if they're in my office, I'm going to ask them, what it was like when they first met.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask them about those good times.
You didn't marry them because they were a pain in the butt.
No, you met, you liked each other.
Absolutely.
I would assume you loved each other at some point.
Probably had a lot of sex.
What was that like,
There was maybe something good happening there at one point.
Yes.
One of the things I love about Gottman's couples therapy is he has an oral interview that he does in the beginning. And the couples take an assessment. It's a very good assessment. Then they come into your office and you do an interview together as a couple where you get a lot of narrative history. And then the man comes in alone and the woman comes in alone, or whoever, the 2 partners come in independently and give you a little more backstory.
Yeah.
With a no secrets clause. If your couples therapist does not say it 1 million times that there are no secrets, run. Couples therapists get themselves in trouble. But when you approach it this way, I love to frame couples therapy in some level of hope that we could get back to a level of liking each other and preferring each other that we had in the beginning.
Yep.
And that's a great feeling when we get back there.
Yes, when we actually can just laugh with each other or experience joy.
It's so good.
I know. Okay, I have one.
Okay.
People nowadays simply do not know how to actively listen to one another. Social media and a false sense of hyper-connectivity make this issue much, much worse. Older couples with beautiful, mutually supportive marriages have naturally identified the importance of listening and have negotiated the ways their partner needs to be heard. Relationships succeed or fail on this simple premise: be still and listen to your partner.
Oh, I love that.
I know.
Well, because here's the thing. Active listening is why we have a paycheck.
Yes.
We're not actually like that amazing. If you understood how simple, there are parts.
We kind of are.
There are parts of counseling that are very technical when you get into trauma work and couples dynamics and some of the stuff that we do, but some of it really is as simple as just being able to listen.
Yeah.
Because couples spend 90% of the time trying to figure out what the other person's going to say and then figuring out what they're going to say in response.
Yes.
It's then we don't hear each other.
Defensive listening.
Defensive listening. We're listening for how to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of
listening to what are they feeling, what are they saying.
Oh, for sure.
And I do think it's interesting that this talks a little bit about social media, because it says social media and a false sense of hyperconnectivity make this issue much, much worse. So not only do we already have a problem active listening, because we defensively listen most of the time.
Yep.
Now we have these things that get more in the way of us actually paying attention to each other.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm guilty of that. I mean, shoot, when I was at my worst, 4 or 5 years ago, I would literally, Preston would be trying to have a conversation with me, and I would literally be just staring at my phone.
Oh.
I know.
That doesn't feel good.
No. And I had to get my head out of my butt.
Oh, for sure.
And we did some couples therapy, and I was like, wow.
I need to maybe listen.
I am a jerk. I also have my own stuff going on, y'all, so some grace there. But
yeah, but you know what? I think the sign of an adult is an ability to own our stuff. And there's this show. Have you seen No One Wants This on Netflix?
Not yet.
Natalie. Okay, first of all, it's...
No one ever calls me Natalie. That's like I must do this.
No, you have to.
I know.
You've told me this before. I keep it in my hip pocket if I really need to get your attention.
I know. You just say my name.
So,
full name.
In the show, first of all, the main character, Kristen Bell, and her sister, I can never remember the character's name, so whatever.
Yeah.
They have a podcast.
Oh.
So it's their podcast. They're trying to sell their podcast.
This is what Jeanette was just talking to me about.
Yes. Now knocked her water bottle over, and our producer looks like he's going to jump out of his chair. It's okay.
It's like when I eat cream cheese.
We love cream cheese. Okay, so anyway, so they're doing this business stuff. Meanwhile, she falls in love with a rabbi, Adrian Brody.
Okay.
That's his name right there. Adrian Brody from the OC.
Seth from the OC.
Yes, Seth Cohen. Adam Brody from the OC.
I know. I love him.
I love him so much. Okay, grown up him.
I know. No, dude. Him in general.
Okay, listen.
In love.
Listen. As a grown-ass woman who is now 40 years old, can I tell you, he's okay with me. He is okay with me. Also, best first kiss I've ever seen, any movie, any TV show, hands down, ever in my life.
Now I gotta watch it.
No, it's like a thing. It's like a social media phenomenon. It is.
Wow. Okay.
So you have to tell me everything. I want you to watch it while I'm watching it.
I've read some things. I haven't done a deep dive on what's her husband's name?
Oh, Dak Shepard.
Yeah. Oh, it's I wonder what Dak Shepard's thought is on the chemistry between Kristen Bell and...
I don't think it's between them. I think it's him.
He's just a magnet.
He's yummy. He's so yummy in the show. But
I love that your husband is sitting in this room.
Oh, he knows. He's fine. He knows he's the most yummy.
Okay, perfect.
That's all he needs to know. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
But really, I think it's the best depiction of healthy adult attachment in a relationship. They come in as two independent people who like what they like, don't like what they don't like, and they're trying to navigate a very different world in a relationship together. Like freaking grown-ups. They can apologize. They can explain themselves. You know, all the frustrating points in a show where you're like, just have a conversation.
Yes.
They have the conversation.
Wow.
Oh, Nat, it's so good.
Okay.
You have to watch it, but you have to text me the whole time. Let's watch it tonight.
Oh, my God.
While we do work, and you got to text me.
Janine, I can't text you the whole time.
You have to.
I don't have the same...
This is not optional.
Attention span that you have.
Well, does that mean yours is better? Yours is better, actually.
Yeah, I can't do 10 things at once.
Okay, well then at least text me after the kiss.
Y'all, okay, well. Oh, Janine texted me yesterday. It was a stream of texts, and I was like, and none of them related to the other one.
No, of course not.
None of them are related. And I was like, girl, the text.
I know, but you have to admit.
What? You cover a lot of ground.
Who else has an engine like this?
No one.
No one. I know.
Literally.
It's great and so annoying all at the same time. I know. That's have to knock myself out at night.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Unless you're expected to do any of the things on the list.
Yeah.
Then it's like, lady.
Sometimes I just shut down. I'm like,
That's fair.
She'll tell me. She'll circle back to the important stuff.
I always do.
I know.
I don't enjoy doing that, but I will do it. So... I totally recommend the show, and those are some healthy relationship dynamics happening in No One Wants This.
So go watch and take notes, y'all.
Go watch and report back, and we will talk in a couple weeks, maybe next week, who knows, about the antidotes to the 4 Horsemen.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, you guys, as always.
Bye, forensic friends.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening, and join us next week for more Crime, Psychology, and Heart.